Yo, YouTube, what's happening? Hey, look, this is my very first video on YouTube. I want to start this YouTube channel. I want to grow. I want to become a part of the YouTube family. So, if you like my story, this channel is going to be about my life as a paraplegic. So, if you like my story and you interested in the videos that I post following this one, I would appreciate it if you subscribe, like, comment, all of the above. So let's get it started. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ricardo Brooks, better known growing up as Rico. I'm a first-time author of an entertaining story of a troubled life that I once lived, leading to a severe spinal cord injury that I encountered in 2009 at the age of 22 that left me paralyzed in a wheelchair. All of the information regarding my story will be left in the description below, so you can read up on the purchase, gain interest. And I love the feedback. So if you're interested and you want to give feedback, let me know. Anyway, my story is so devastating that I feel I gotta share it with the world. So let's get started. It was July 19th, 2009. Yeah, that was 16 years ago. Right now it's 2025, so 16 years ago, July 19th, 2009, a homie and I were leaving a cabaret in Washington, D.C., where I was born, but I was raised. I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. We were at a cabaret in Washington, D.C., and we were already, tipsy before we went to the cabaret. We got in the cabaret, was drinking more, then left the cabaret. When we left the cabaret, homie, I'm not gonna say his name, we just gonna call him homie. Homie, remember that he had a little small bottle of PCP that he got from, I guess, his cousin, or his cousin, he got from somebody. But those of you who don't know what PCP is, in the DMV we call them a dipper. It's a little liquid drug where you dip a cigarette into it and it takes you to another world. I'm sure you may know about it, but for those of you who don't, it's a dangerous drug. I'm gonna tell you like that. Anyway, we smoked the drug. So as we were leaving from the DC, crossing over into the Prince George's County, Maryland line, I had dozed off. Now I forgot to tell you, I was the passenger of the car. He was driving the car. I wasn't driving. He was driving. We was in his car. So I was a passenger. I had got so high. Remind you, I was already drunk. So I had got so high after being drunk that I kind of dozed off. My mind went into another world, right? So next thing you know, after I dozed off, I felt the pounding impact of the car hitting something. When I woke up to being ejected out of the front windshield of the car. A park police saw what happened. A park police was sitting about I think at a gas station across the street from where the accident happened. A park police saw it and dispatched EMS paramedics to the scene immediately. When paramedics got there, they noticed that the glass was busted all out the front windshield with glass all over and around the hood of the car. They then noticed that my body was about 10 feet away from the car, leaning up on the trunk of a tree trunk. When they got out the ambulance to approach me, they noticed that my face was filled with blood. Had a lot of blood under I had glass in my head, glass on my face, glass on my clothes. My clothes had blood, a massive amount of blood on it. So they noticed that homie was still in the car because the steering wheel saved him from being ejected out the windshield. He had on no seatbelt either, just like I had on no seatbelt, but the steering wheel saved him from being ejected out the windshield of the car. So he was still able to walk to the ambulance. Me, on the other hand, they had to use emergency training techniques to get me off the stretcher get me off the ground onto the stretcher without further damaging parts of my body that may have already been damaged, because they didn't know what was damaged, right? So they got me on the ambulance. They rushed me to Prince George's Hospital which was about 12 minutes away from the scene of the accident. Like I said, it was about 2:30 in the morning, so there was no traffic. So it only took them about 12, 13 minutes to get to the hospital. When they got to the hospital, they unboarded me from the ambulance and took me into the emergency room. When I got into the emergency room, they immediately put breathing machines on my back, put a breathing machine on my body to keep my breathing stable because my breathing was all messed up. They then took the X-rays and discovered that I had broken my left cheekbone, my jaw, my neck, my spinal cord, my ribs, and I had fractured my leg, but it wasn't broken, it was just fractured. But the most serious bone that was broken was my spinal cord, which left me paralyzed. So they had to send me to shock trauma located in Baltimore, where they specialize in spinal cord injuries, because they didn't do spinal cord injuries at Prince George's Hospital. They had a special department in shock trauma Baltimore where they specialize in doing spinal cord repair to the spinal cord injury. Let me show you where I was at. This is where I was at right here. So this is shock trauma where I was located in Baltimore. I'm telling you, it's so congested down here in Baltimore. I try to get a good view because the hospital is in different sections, you know what I mean? So I try to get a good view, but it's so congested down here. But I'm going to try to show some more spots. But this is shock trauma now, where the helicopter, drop patients off, is on the roof. I don't know if it's the roof of this building or another location, but on the roof is where helicopters on a I don't know what it's called, helipad, something like that. But this is where I was for months. This is where all the major surgeries were done. This is not the hospital that I was taken to when the ambulance came to the scene of the car accident. I was taken to Prince George's Hospital, but Prince George's Hospital completely closed down on June 21st, 2021. So I'm just bringing you to this hospital to show you exactly where. This is a big hospital and there's different parts of it, but I'm just showing you where. I don't know if this is the UMMC commercial. I don't know if you can see that sign. Probably can't see it. But this is UMMC commercial ambulance entrance. But I came through the hospital in the ambulance, so I was dropped off on the roof. I'm gonna show you different parts though. This is another part of shock trauma outpatient pavilion. I will go in the hospital, but I can't go in the hospital with my camera and move around and be recording. That's against the hospital policy. So I just wanted to come down here. I drove down. I just wanted to show the hospital I was in. But like I said, Baltimore is so congested, and I don't really know much about Baltimore, so I can't take you to a lot of other places of shock trauma, because this is a huge hospital. So just wanted to show you where I was. Like I said, I wish I could go in the hospital, but I can't go in the hospital and record because that's against hospital policy. So but let me get back to my story of in the hospital and tell you about the rest of my testimony and what happened to me. Stay tuned. So when I got the shock trauma, the first thing shock trauma did was they took X-rays, and like I said, Prince George's Hospital took X-rays, but shock trauma wanted to do their own X-rays, and the X-rays came back as the same as Prince George's Hospital. So after the X-rays came back, they went ahead and started the process. Now, when I got to when I got the shock trauma, that's when I fell into a deep coma. I fell into the coma, and that's when everything started. I was already on the breathing machine, but so they did repair to all of the broken bones in my body, my arm, not my arm, my jaw, my neck, my ribs. Well, the ribs, the ribs have the ability to heal on their own, so they didn't have to do any repair to the ribs. But as far as my jaw, my neck, and all the other bones were repaired first. It was the spinal cord that was repaired last that took the longest. So for the spinal cord repair, they had to I had to lay on my stomach in I think it's called a fetal position, where my arm was out to the side and my head was kind of like cocked to the side, and they had something that they put under my head to protect my face from to keep my face cushioned in a cushioned position. So they did a repair to my spinal cord. Now, I was in shock trauma for 3 months. During that 3 months that I was in a coma, I experienced cardiac arrest, meaning that my heart stopped beating maybe for 4 or 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds. This happened 4 times. So my heart stopped beating 4 times. And it was just so devastating, my experience at the hospital. It was so much, I can't even tell you how much it was, because it was 16 years ago and I don't remember everything. I have everything in documents, but it's too much to read off, and there's definitely too much to remember. So I'm just giving it to you piece by piece that I remember, So my family, they came all up from North Carolina and in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. So it was just devastating. But surgeons, they couldn't promise my family that I would come out of the coma. So my family, all they could do was pray, and hope that I came out of the coma. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but homie, maybe I did mention it before, but I'm gonna mention it again. But homie, he got arrested. They took him to the county jail after he left the hospital. They took him to the county jail. He was only there for like 2-3 days, paid his bond. But that's that's what happened to him. He wasn't injured for real. I was the one that was severely injured from this whole incident. So the big prayer was that I just I lived. So after I was in shock trauma and they finished all of the repair to the bones, they sent me to John Hopkins, not far from shock trauma. I think it's like across the street or around the corner from shock trauma. They sent me to John Hopkins after I came out of the coma. When I came out of the coma, they wanted to keep me to do to monitor my body, to monitor my reaction, because I was still on the breathing machine. So they just wanted to monitor me, so before they sent me elsewhere. So they did that, and it was confirmed that I was going to live. My family, everyone was hoping it, and they thought I was going to die, because the surgeons, the doctors, they couldn't promise life or death. So everyone didn't know if I was going to live or die. So they would, everyone was in fear. Like I said, I was 21 years old, about to turn 22. So it was devastating. It was very devastating, but it may be a lot that I'm leaving out in the story, but it's been so long ago. I just wanted to give you an example. I just wanted to give you a brief story of what happened to me, how I got paralyzed, and I'm alive. You see, I'm still here. So I'm gonna continue with this story. I'm sure when I watch this video, it's gonna be a lot that I left out, but that's fine. As long as you get an idea of what I'm telling you, what happened to me, you can imagine it. So there we go. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, because I got more to come. I'm going to tell you where I went after I was discharged from John Hopkins. I'm going to tell you that whole story coming up. So just continue to rock with me. I appreciate you watching the video. Like I said, if you want to subscribe and learn more about my injury, and I'm going to be talking about my life after my injury, you know, within the 16 years that I've been paralyzed. I'm going to talk about all that I had to deal with, all the challenges that people don't know that come with being paralyzed. I'm going to talk about it all. So if you're interested, rock with me. If you're not, that's cool if you want to keep it moving. God bless you. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.